What's wrong, Homer?
This place is so strange, Mike. I'm ashamed to admit it to another guy, but I'm scared.
We all get scared once in a while. Maybe I can help you.
Homer, the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for. With a friend to call my own, I'll never be alone. And you, my friend, will see you've got a friend in me.
Pancakes, football, boobies.
Bubbles, it's gonna be a long night.
Wow.
I'm in Toronto, where you wanna get a city love. I'm from Toronto, where you wanna get a city love. I'm in Toronto, like we wanna get a city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1826 of Toronto Mic'd, an award-winning podcast proudly brought to you by retrofestive.ca, Canada's pop culture and Christmas store. Save 10% with the promo code FOTM for a limited time. Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free, local, home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success, two podcasts you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making his return to Toronto Mic'd, it's Ben Rayner.
Let me bid my mother and my daughter and the dog away.
Okay. Or put him on.
Well, we might be able to maybe even get my kid. Polly's been on before, right?
At Christy Pitts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The camera.
Is there like a lens cap on this? Maybe like is there anything blocking the camera, like a lens cap or something? There you are.
There is. Sorry, I'm paranoid. I like my Grinch.
Oh, you think people are watching you? Oh, I like that sweater. The Grinch.
There we go. That's better, right?
Happy to see you, man. Quick question. When you were growing up, did you like the Michael Jackson song Ben?
No, it was kind of the bane of my existence, to be honest with you.
Did people sing it to you?
It haunts me to this day. They used to play it at a number of places. We played at school dances. They used to play when I was managed the Cops Record Shop there on the Danforth in Toronto. It would often get played. People would often remark on it. You've played it. You've mocked me with it.
I've definitely played it, yeah. But I always think of the guy in the insane asylum with Homer. Remember Homer had a pink shirt?
Yes. Lisa, it's your birthday.
Right. Which, by the way, is the only Simpsons episode you cannot stream on Disney+.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They took it off. But there's he sings the guy who thinks he's Michael Jackson sings Ben, but he changes it to Homer.
Yeah. Yeah. No. One of the only two uncredited guest appearances on The Simpsons. Dustin Hoffman's is the other one.
Yeah, of course. He was credited as...
piece of trivia for you there today, brother.
Well, that's an easy one for me. He was credited as Sam Atik, like Semitic. So Sam Atik. And he played Lisa's substitute.
I like that one a lot.
Actually, might be my favorite episode of all time is Lisa's substitute.
I go with Bobo the Bear, season 2.
Yeah.
I'm fond of Burns' Bear.
That's like the Citizen Kane... tribute or whatever. But
yeah,
my daughter who's 9, how old is Polly?
Polly will be 9 in a couple of days. You want to say hi really quickly?
Yeah, of course.
Hang on. Let's just get this out of the way.
Let's see
Polly.
Polly.
You want to come say hello to Mike?
I need
Because it's almost her birthday. You can wish her happy birthday. Polly's going to be 9.
Oh.
Mike's daughter is 9. Come on
Hey,
in.
okay. So, Polly, do you remember? Can she hear me? I'm on the out speakers, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember being on Toronto Mike when I recorded at Christie Pitts at that Maple Leafs
I
baseball?
think yes. Because
Okay.
I got a giant, you got me a giant freezy.
Oh,
I remember.
That's what you remember.
We
There's
co-
the dog. Yeah.
we-
All right, the whole fan. Let's shut the dog out. You can talk to Mike for a second.
okay. Well, just
So
to correct Polly, we call those jumbo freezies. Okay, they're not giant freezies; they're jumbo freezies.
yeah, well, I'm from the UK. They're-
They're giant over there. Okay, so Polly, did you have a good Christmas?
I had a great Christmas.
Okay, and how's Daddy doing? He looks good. Your daddy's getting younger, I think.
Yes.
I feel younger. This one keeps me young. We're actually in my mom's office right now. We're visiting the grandparents. So.
Where is that? New Brunswick?
Yeah, there's a really embarrassing picture of me behind my daughter's head.
Oh
When
my
I was young.
God. So
Yeah.
what happened? Did you get contacts? Because you're wearing glasses in that picture.
I've been wearing contacts since I was 15.
Okay.
Keeps these beautiful green eyes can't be
Yeah.
batted at single ladies without. All right, you want to say bye to Mike?
Okay.
Bye.
Good to see you. It's good to see you,
Do this.
Polly. Good to see you.
I took the liberty of getting a can of beer representative of the 2 provinces. I know I don't have a delicious Great Lakes, but I
Right.
see you have. I have a good Robot Diablo from Halifax and the traditional New Brunswick drink, an Alpine. So
Okay.
I can have a beer with.
Have a beer with me, man, because I just want to catch up. But are you in New Brunswick right now?
Start with you. I am. I'm at my mom's place in St. George. And today we're going to Fredericton because I think I've told you, I've been basically, I managed to live pretty comfortably taking care of other people's pets since May. So I'm going to Fredericton to look after a cat and a dog for a few days. And Polly's coming along. And because my friend Sandy has a beautiful apartment, they're going to Toronto. They're coming to your neck of the woods.
Wow.
So we are going to hang out in a beautiful mid-century modern apartment on the river in Fredericton for New Year's and hang out with a big fat cat and a big dog and actually be a father and daughter in a place that's not a hotel or someone else's, without somebody else nosing around, which is a rare thing because I've basically been a nomad since April 30th. Which I kind of enjoy, I gotta say. I didn't mean being away from Polly for long stretches. I don't mind it. It's like being on tour. It'd be nice to make some money again. That'll come.
Okay, so obviously we have some ground to cover, Benjamin. Do you mind if I call you Benjamin? I feel like you're now
My
Benjamin.
mother calls me Benjamin. You're welcome to. She's in the next room. I would get her on later too.
What's your mom's name?
Barbara.
Barbara. Okay, I like that. Okay.
She was a news reporter. This was her office. My dad was a music teacher. So you can see I became a music journalist purely through biological determinist means.
Well, can you tell me what outlet was your mom a news reporter for? I don't know if I know this.
She worked for the Telegraph Journal for a while. She worked for the Gander Beacon back in Newfoundland for a while. My parents met working for the Cambridge Evening News back in England. And mom is like a local legend. Let's see if I have a copy of it. Because they just rebooted it as a free thing. The St. Croix Courier, where a young Ben Rayner spent 2 summers working in St. Stephen, New Brunswick. It was an international newspaper because St. Stephen's on the border with Calais. I know these are spelled Calais and St. Croix, but down here it's St. Croix and Calais. It took us a while to get used to it when we moved here, but that's the way it works.
Learning so much already, Ben. Okay, so I'll have some questions, but we're in this period. I guess, what's it like for you? I mean, you don't have a gig right now, right?
No, I mean, I knock out the odd freelance thing and the odd bio. But I can't talk too much about the other things I'm doing. It's not like they're paying me, so I haven't signed any NDAs. But
well, then you can talk about them.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to jinx them too much. But we had my good friend Matt and I had a surprisingly healthy response to this UFO thing we pitched, which I won't go into great detail about because I won't rip anyone ripping me off because no one's done it. And that's still in front of people. The last time I talked, that was the first day he was taking it in front of some networks, and it's not dead, which is interesting to me because that's my first venture into the. Well, I mean, I've done online shit, but so that thing's still alive. But the same friend because one of my other passions, with which everybody is quite familiar, is horror movies. Has invited me in on a pretty cool project to do with that genre as writer, and I probably co-produce. So none of this pays yet, but I've been spending my days working on this, and they're both kind of dream projects. The UFO thing went further than I thought it would for like a first pitch. It was all my idea. I was just like, no one's done this. We finally got a no from a couple of people, but they were like big networks. They were like sounding it for a while, so that's cool. But this other thing is, I was basically brought in to kind of broaden the cast list, and because of I'm not modest necessarily about my skills as an interviewer. Much like you, I'm a pretty good interviewer. So that thing has like been my like basically my job lately. Like I because obviously this time of year there's not a lot of freelance going around because everyone's on holiday.
Right.
So I've been going to like the Halifax Central Library to the top floor, which overlooks the harbor. It's called the Sunroom. And just working away, pretending I'm like a movie executive in this penthouse suite. And it's actually really fun. Like, it doesn't feel like work. And I've been lucky my whole life to have jobs that don't feel like work. This is my long game plan to avoid having a job that feels like work.
Right.
Because it's time to start applying for jobs that will feel like work. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's been long enough.
Like, could Ben Rayner even work as like a waiter or a bartender, or
I ran a record shop for 4 years. I think I could work as a bartender. It's very similar. Like it's a lot of talking to. I would always do this, kind of mop the counter.
Right.
People would talk to me.
Like
You have
coach.
a lot of people who just come in to chat, and there's a certain type, mostly male, and lonely.
Yeah, because you just
and nerdy,
do
so
a lot of listening, right?
And
And then
lonely sometimes.
you'd be good because you would listen, and then you would have an interesting anecdote because you're well versed in a lot of interesting realms. Like I just feel like. So before I get too far from this, I got a note. So I said, okay, Ben's coming back on the show, and there were so many notes of people who just wanted to wish you the best. Hamilton Mike wishing the best for him. A lot of people who heard episode 1765. Which I'll get back to in a minute. But this person named Hazardous, it's a good handle. You can steal it if you want.
That's pretty good, actually. Good DJ name.
Well, maybe he is a DJ. I don't know. Just wishing Ben the best. And honestly, I hope he starts his dog walking business. So have you thought at all about the dog walking business?
I have thought about the dog walking business. I've actually looked into it because I love it. And that's what I've been doing, is walking dogs. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few days. I've just spent an hour and a half in the rain in the marsh with my mom's dog, under great protest. But it's very, I don't know, man. Like, it's very low stress for me. I like dogs. I'm good with pets. Like I've been taking care of pets off and on for months now. Which has been great. It's allowed me to live rent-free in a number of places, which is awesome. And yeah, I wonder how one starts a dog walking business. I'm not much of an entrepreneur, but I've looked into it. You can get like gigs, but
I think this one's easier than you think because it's kind of low overhead and there's not a lot of because it's dogs. It's not like you're opening a daycare for kids or something where there's all this
yeah.
legal stuff and certification or whatever. So I think you just literally start putting up flyers and doing a word of mouth thing and just start building clientele. And you make up rates, you find out what's a fair rate, and that's the rates or whatever. And then I think you just sort of do it. And maybe you have one dog or two dogs, and then maybe it becomes 3 or 4. And then maybe you decide what's your cap or whatever. And I think you just sort of do it.
No, I ran into a guy literally walking 10 dogs on Halifax Common a few weeks ago, and I stopped and said, I think you have the best job. I mean, that's a lot of crap to pick up. A lot of crap to pick up.
You would love it. You're used to shoveling shit.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I did as a journalist for 25 years.
Yeah.
No, I think about it. It's fun, man. It's kept me sane. Like, I'm usually really, I've talked about it with you. I get really depressed at this time. Not necessarily Christmas. I don't mean that. although that was the time of my little breakdown. But usually when the clocks go back and everything is weird, and this year I'm not, and it's because I'm, mostly unemployed, but at the same time, I'm out being active and doing stuff, and that I realized. Well, I knew that a long time ago, but I think in Toronto, I was getting trapped in my own head a bit too much, and also just working too much. We talked about it. It's like working around the clock and just living for my time with. I'm gesturing this way because I can hear my daughter in the next room.
Right.
Living for my time with her, which I still do. But it's just it feels different this year. And also this project came in at the right time where I'm like, oh, that's fun. I'll do that. Thank you. So I actually feel there's some interest in it already. And I think the idea is to aim a bit higher than what we had in our lap. So that's something to look forward to. I don't I can work retail if I have. I don't mind it. Just want to do stuff. I'm bored. I'll put it that way.
Well,
and the writing is sporadic these days.
The dog walking thing, which you enjoy doing, is a low stress. It gets you walking. It gets you with animals who you love, right? But this is sort of like, it doesn't prevent you from doing these things. Like you mentioned the UFO thing, or the what's the other one again?
Something to do with horror.
Horror, okay. The horror and
my two favorite things.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Am I kidding?
And you could probably throw a third in there, something around. I feel like maybe music or something, since you are Ben Rayner from formerly of the Toronto Star. But I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what to do, except that a lot of people responded when we talked about that. They like a light went off in their head and said, "That's what Ben should do."
Yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, I grew up doing that. We always had at least two dogs, mostly setters, which do require a fair amount of walking. So I like it. I just went out in the pissing freezing rain to walk my mom's dog for an hour and a half because I need to be outside. Like that's the other thing. We were at my dad's yesterday, and they were doing crafts, and I can't handle that. I need to be outside. I can't sit still. Like it's just the way I am. You know me long.
You know what? I get it. I feel we're similar that way.
The dog is desperately trying to get in the door right
The
now.
dog, by the way, I don't care if there's dog noises around you, and I don't care if there's a dog on your lap. Like, what's the name of this dog?
This is Jenna. Let's see if Jenna wants to come.
Yeah, like, this is not the CBC, Ben.
Yeah, no, I think she was there, but she's not there. We were talking about Jenna, that's all.
Yeah, okay, so Jenna.
Oh, shit. Jenna might come in.
Okay, what kind of dog is Jenna?
Jenna is a pit bull. Oh, there she is.
Okay, there you go. That's a real dog.
Yeah.
And here's Polly coming back. Okay.
There is Polly coming back. All right.
What's Polly got for you?
That's something else. It's a real pro operation today.
What is that, a Pikachu?
Right.
What are we looking at here? Is that a...
What is that, Polly?
A blob.
A blob.
It's called gummy.
All right,
That's
all right, go away, both of you.
Well, so right off the top, Ben,
Yes.
Polly looks like happy as a pig in shit there. Like Polly's happy, but you sound and look very good. And you do know some people were worried about you after our last chat.
Yeah, I mean, I was really worried about the fall because my friends always check in. I mean, this seems very self-serving and self-fitting. It's not because I'm very lucky, but it's the time of year when clocks go back. I get worried, and my friends start checking in on me. And I have friends I check in on too, because we in the depression community look out for each other. And this year it's been good. Like I don't know, man. I miss friends, and I miss some things about Toronto. But I think I felt unhealthy there. Like I started feeling unhealthy there. Obviously, my daughter is in Dartmouth too, so that would have been too much, I think, after a year of fighting an eviction, a rather unfair eviction, and then going to court to have access to Polly, maybe in Toronto, and get her we can have her for a month in the summer. I couldn't do that. I need it's always been half and half. It was a weird fucking Christmas actually, because I didn't see her on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day this year, but I did bargain this, and she hasn't been here in New Brunswick since she was 2.
Wow.
So she's here in the town where I grew up. We're going to go to Fredericton for days. We're going to come back down on the 3rd because that's her birthday and have a little party here, and then go back to Halifax, Dartmouth. So that's the most concentrated daddy-daughter time I've had in a while, and it was not gonna lie, there's a bit of a little bit of a conflict with mom, and I not my mom, the mom, where she's like, oh, I don't think it's too much for Polly, and I'm like, you've had her for like 5-6 weeks when I haven't seen her at all. It's time, like and that's the tough thing about these situations you've been through. Like it's just like you with my ex, just like you don't understand what it's like to say goodbye, and it's like, okay, I'm going back to New Brunswick. We'll see you in a month. I don't want to have to do that again. It's not at the point yet where I'm like, shit, I gotta look for a job in St. John or Fredericton. Those would be the choices because I have friends in St. John or Fredericton. Moncton would make me blow my brains out right away. Although I do have friends there, I apologize to all of you. I don't understand Moncton completely, except for the people. Fredericton's a bit sleepy but nice, and I have some really good friends there. And St. John, I have a soft spot for St. John because it's tough as nails and kind of gritty and has a drug problem, and I can understand all that. But it's not at that point yet. And I'm really lucky that I have my friend Dennis and his wife Corrine and their son Max I'm like the Fonz in their basement. I really am. Like I come and go. I walk their dog. I take care of their dogs. But it's just they've been so sweet to me, and my friends have been so sweet to me. So I'm fine. Like I'm in a good position. It's not like I'm living on the street, and I don't have to rush. Like I'm lucky that I've worked a long time at several jobs, so I'm okay right now, and it's not like I have to bust out a tent or anything. So I don't know. I don't feel self-pitying or awful or anything, or isolated. It's like when I get depressed, I isolate myself. It's easier to do that in Toronto when I could just retreat into my empty apartment, whereas I don't really have that option yet. So I think that's actually good for me. There's dogs that need me. My friends are looking out for me. There's a dog going berserk in the other room right now.
Well, I think that's very good for you, Ben, because you can't, like you said, you can't just go into the basement and hibernate. You need to get out there. And we know that that's good for your mental, forget your physical health. Of course it's good for that, but it's good for your mental health.
I'm fit as a fiddle these days too, I gotta say. I'm in really good shape because all I do is like hike.
Well, I say this about biking, and the same is true, of course, for walking and hiking, but and being any outdoor activity really. But like, you don't underestimate the yes, there's physical benefits, but the mental benefits are immense as well.
Well, also it's I think not being bound to like a regular schedule and kind of being able to work on my own time, which I could sort of do at the Star, couldn't do as much when I was like shackled to a shop 8 hours a day.
Right.
At this time of year, it's like if the sun is shining, I'm going to go outside for a few hours. I can work at night. Right. You know what I mean? This can get done if it's a freelance piece or whatever, or it's, proposals or scripting or whatever. That can be done at night. So if it's nice out and the sun is there, I just go out in the sun, and if that's been the advantage to kind of not being bound to, a 35-hour work week for months. It would be nice to be bound to a 35-hour work week. Although, like I said, I was used to the arrangement. The Stars, I work nights, so if I wanted to not work until 6 o'clock because I was going to see the Foo Fighters or whatever, I didn't have to. And maybe that wasn't a weird adjustment. Besides, like making half as much money and having a shit boss. But I've had shit bosses before, though, so it don't work.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I feel good.
So Ben,
I feel like I do look a bit younger.
Well, it's just that you kept your pigmentation and that beard and hair, and it makes you look younger. Like I'm just like very impressed. You're not dying over there, are you? I mean,
That's right. Yeah, this is it for me. I'll take this moment to no. I don't smoke anymore. I barely even smoke. I mean, I still have my gummies and stuff, but I don't. I mean, I'm out here. I don't. I went to Toronto for 3 raves in 8 days at the end of the summer, so right. I still like to have fun once in a while, but I don't feel compelled to to be at something all the time. You know what I mean? The opportunities aren't there. I'm not at shows 4 or 5 nights a week, dropping $40 a night on beer. You know, it's just it's a different lifestyle. I don't mind it. I mean, I'm 50 years old, 51.
Me too, Ben.
Hey, we look good. Do you agree we look good?
I think we're hot AF. And by the way, when I said you're not dyeing over there, I need to make sure you know I was actually referring to dyeing your hair.
No, look at this. This is all Rayner.
Yeah, because I mean, I realized after I said the sentence, like, shout out to Ridley Funeral Home.
This toque's very wet. I'm going to put this one on. Here.
Look at you. All right, so can I reset? Like, can I just set it up by letting the listeners know? I'm worried somebody won't realize this is actually a sequel episode. You can't watch Godfather 2 until you watch Godfather 1. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually
maybe like Daddy's Home 2 you could pick up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe. But there are some sequels you got to watch the first one. Okay, so this is one of those. So in September 2025, you and I talked on the phone. I remember the wind and the connection. You were in Halifax Harbor or something, but this was
yes, I was down by the Dingle.
Right. And I'll tell you more on the other end. I'll just read the description.
Northwest Arm.
So people should listen to episode 1765. And all I wrote for the description was, Mike checks in with Ben Rayner to see how he's dealing with life's curveballs. So here, if people haven't heard that episode, just how succinctly and painless would it be for us just quickly, like bullet form, what were these curveballs that you had to face? Like, okay, so maybe I'll give a shot. And if it's triggering, let me know. We'll move on. But so the Toronto Star, long before this, I guess, the Toronto Star basically cut all these entertainment writers and you lost your full-time gig at the Star, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, I lost my mind. I took a leave and then just never went back.
Oh.
But I knew my job was on the... I'm talking about this shit now. But I knew my job. We knew they were going to kill the entertainment section, but they wouldn't actually tell us. We were down to like 4 or 5 writers and 3 or 4 editors. You know, it was just everybody else had one meeting. We had several. It was just like, you might want to think about the buyout deadline, whatever that was. That was the day I had my little breakdown, actually. Or I just never went back. The beginning of my little break. That's when my daughter, bless her heart, she was like 2 at the time, was like, Daddy's work makes him sick. That's why he doesn't get out of bed. But it was just like, you knew it was coming. They wouldn't tell you. They wouldn't tell you before the deadline for taking a buyout. I got around that by just having a little breakdown. And then I was just happy because I was raising my daughter. We were staying up on the Dufferin Grey Highlands with my friend Nancy. Living in the woods. Thought we'd go for a week, and then COVID got crazy. We just stayed up there for like 4 or 5 weeks. So I was just outside all day with my kid. And then when we came back to Toronto, we just kept her at a daycare, and I wasn't working. I was on leave. And I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll take the buyout was still open. So I had a year and a half basically as a full-time dad. A good 8 months where I was just a full-time dad.
Right.
And my ex worked for Kids Health Home. My friend was like seconded to the Melanchthon disaster management. It was just like get her out of the house. Just 2. I'm almost 3 then. So we just go outside and play all day, and that continued when we got back to Toronto because I'm not a stay-at-home guy. I was like, I'm going out. So we just roamed an empty city all day. You know, you saw my Twitter feed back then and stuff. That's just like, where do you want to go? Black Creek. All right, put her in the stroller. Where do you want to go today? I know we'd wind up in like Eglinton Flats and stuff. Just roaming the city. She'd nap for a couple hours at that age, so Daddy could go to a craft brewery, have himself a gummy in the morning, a gummy in the afternoon. You know, this is not children's aid needn't call. It's responsible parenting. But it was just really therapeutic. So that was good. And then, I got my other dream job after working as a music critic. I started working for Cops Records, and that was super fun. Went up like managing the Danforth shop in Toronto. And then the wheels just started to come off. The The day after, I ran an unsanctioned spread, UFO piece, because as you know, UFOs are my passion, in the Toronto Star, where they called me, paid me higher than my usual rate. You want to write about UFOs? Fuck yeah, I do. I was having a conversation with my friend Sean, who's shacked up with my ex's sister, and they have a kid 9 weeks behind Polly. So they're basically sisters. And I was like, you know what? I think my life is okay. I jinxed myself, Mike. I was like, I'm not paying as much in taxes. I took a pretty hard hit in income, but if I do enough freelance, kind of levels out, I'm happy. And like that night, my ex was like, I'm not happy, and split up with me. Like, so that was the first thing. I had a real conflict with my boss, the owner of Cops Records, like a real conflict. He did not like me, and I'm too punk. I fucking push back. So that got to be problematic, and that was grinding me down. And I was like working all the time. I wrote about this. Working all the time, managing a shop 8 hours a day, freelancing at night to try and like keep it level, which was dwindling because nobody has any money for that. And living for the weekends with my daughter, when I definitely was like, Saturday to Tuesdays, no work gets done. That's poly time, unless Kylie Minogue comes to town. But it was just like, I had no life. My friends never saw me drinking way too much. If I go right down the hole, I can get in, I can spiral into drugs for a few days. Like, so it just got bad. Not to the point where I wanted to kill myself again, but it just was time to go. And on the same day, I walked out of my job and said, I'm not coming back. 45 minutes later, I got my eviction judgment, because that was the other wrinkle, right? My ex was the leaseholder. And when she asked to get off the lease, my landlord of 23 years wanted to raise the rent almost $8,000 a year, which was insane because I was already paying double rent, right? I wasn't splitting it with anybody anymore. So I fought it, and we actually thought we'd win, and we didn't. But so the first day of spring, within 45 minutes, I walked out of my job, lost my apartment. So I was like, I think I need to move to the East Coast.
But where in this scenario does your ex-wife tell you, or your ex, I guess just your ex-partner, you weren't married, right? You were just common law.
Yeah, we were common law. I mean, we were essentially married after
right.
22, 23 years.
So at what point does she say to you, I'm moving with our daughter to the East Coast?
That was the threat all along. And I, at one point, said I would fight it when I thought I wanted to stay in Toronto. But after getting beaten down by that whole eviction thing, I was spending a year, like I was so stressful. Like I was really thin. I was throwing up after meals. I couldn't sleep. It was kind of in a haunted apartment too, right? Like a place that we'd lived forever. So on the day of the hearing, I said, I was like, you know what? If I lose this apartment, I'm just going to move to the East Coast. And it didn't go as well as I thought. So as I walked home, I was like, fuck it, I think I'm moving back to, and I knew, because my ex, I knew, my daughter told me well before she did, I had rekindled an old romance in Dartmouth. What was going to happen? So rather than fight it in court, I spend $15,000 or $16,000 I don't have, right, on that. So instead, I walked away with the rent my landlord had rejected. That probably incriminated me, but there's no small claims court jurisdiction outside of Ontario and wherever I live now. So I used that to move and got the hell out of here. So that's the background.
So that all happened, and then you mentioned you wrote about it in the Star, but you came on Toronto Mike in September, episode 1765. Did anyone, because you have a lot of people who love you, like after I published that episode, the number of people I heard from, and I mean, even people like, I think Karen Bliss came over after that and talked about you, and a lot of people who just, they give a fuck about Ben Rayner. Did anybody reach out to you and say anything regarding maybe you should ask Mike to delete that episode or anything? Like, did you ever have any regrets about recording that episode?
Nah, I'm an open book. Like, that's why therapy doesn't work for me. It all comes out. I'm honest. That's what I went through too. Like, it's a pretty. That's why I wrote about it. I know a lot of people who've been through the same thing, and it's not like I was hard done by. I was making an okay living. I thought I was secure in a place that I'd probably dumped at least $250,000 into, right, over 22, 23 years. The guy pretended to be my friend, come over at Christmas, sat in my living room that previous Christmas when I was alone, just like, oh, it's so tragic. I'm just glad you have a roof. He's German, so I do. Right? So I do the accent. I'm just glad you have a roof over your head. And then the moment he could cash in, he did. And I was just like, that's a shitty thing to do. And that was kind of why I fought it, was just, this is a moral thing. Like, I thought you were a bud. I know I've been giving you money, So essentially it's a prostitute. He behaved like a prostitute at the end. Not to diss prostitutes, because he's far worse. Prostitutes are actually earning an honest living, and I support sex workers. So I don't support them financially, but I support what they do. It was just like, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And Toronto, you're lucky. I was in New Toronto, but I felt like my neighborhood was just not my neighborhood anymore. Like around Dundas and Ossington, it was. I just felt like I wasn't. I could go to the Communist Daughter on and off. Like, I was still my local, and I love everybody there. They're all my. But like on the weekends, it's like, oh my God, these kids are wearing clothes worth more than I make in a month, and strutting around. I don't know.
Ben, this is happening.
I felt poor.
It's happening to many a Toronto neighborhood where any new person to enter the neighborhood is rich.
Yeah,
like, because you can't.
I've seen it in Halifax too. Like Halifax has a huge. We talked about it a little bit last time. Halifax has a huge homeless population now. And they just knocked down all the camps like did in Toronto. So it's out of sight, out of mind.
But are they building like new shelters?
The shelters are overwhelmed. I made a point of. I was a couple of people I got to know at one of the camps near just by virtue of walking dog. Same thing happens when I go to Fredericton. They all know me because I'm out with dogs and I'm friendly. And I don't know where they all went. Like, I used to see them every day. The mayor said they were all offered spaces, but it's the same thing in Toronto. Not everybody wants to go to a hotel out by the airport and sit in a room alone. So pisses me off. I thought about doing that, actually. I've talked to people about it. Because it's something I care about. Now that I'm essentially homeless, I would do that. I would do outreach work, and I've thought about it because it's just like I'm a very empathetic human being, I guess.
You'd be good at this, Ben. You'd be good at this. You could do both. You could have the dog walking business, and you could do the outreach. Yeah,
homeless walking and dog outreach.
Oh, we say unhoused now, Ben. I don't know if you got that memo.
I used the expression. I don't know if it ran. I just wrote another piece about it for the Star, but they got gutless. I don't want to talk about that. But I'm kind of sick of the freelance life. I like writing. I'm very good at it. I know that. But it's becoming more and more thankless. And I grow weary of it, which is why this film project appeals to me.
Can you tell me, I've never written freelance, so I have no idea, but I do know people, like I had Karen Bliss on the show since you've been on.
Karen's had a hard time. We've talked about it. Karen and I have talked about it too. It's hard to find it for what we do, especially music journalism. That market is sad. If there's even a market, if you could even term it a market.
Here's my question. So if you write a piece for, Canada's most circulated newspaper, I think it still is, right? Toronto Star? Or the Globe?
No, the Globe might have eclipsed it.
Because they have all the.
I don't want to bully my old employees.
All right, so it's one of the two, anyway.
It was formerly Canada's largest daily newspaper.
Definitely was when I was growing up, that's for sure. Okay, so what do they pay? Are you allowed to disclose what kind of cash you get if you write an article for the Toronto Star?
I mean, it depends. It's usually. For most freelance stuff, I think it's usually I don't want to jinx some of my rates, but for newspapers, $350, $450, $500. I'm not gonna blow the bio rates because
no. Listen,
people.
I was braced for a lower number. I'll be honest.
No, I know, and that's pretty good, man. Like I've done stuff for blogs where it's like you're like I've done cover stories. Like I remember doing cover story for Accelerator, and my friend Ken, who was the managing editor there, just to do on Junior Boys. It was like cover story, cool Canadian, electronic group. He was like, "Do you want to get paid 200? I think it was 200, 250 US for something, and probably never get paid." But I was like, "That's a cover and Accelerator. I'll do it," because they were going down. I never did get paid, but I've like for some of the blog stuff and the online stuff, it's pretty dire. And I had to break up with a friend actually because I did a couple of things for his website to kind of lend it legitimacy or more legitimacy. It's not like it's not my name has some value. At least it used to.
It does.
And I was going to cut my rate till I was like the end of this. I was like, "Do you want? What do you want to say? 150 a piece? Just keep a foot in it. It's fun. It's fun to do." He's like, "Oh, I can't pay you." I've had a really bad year. It's like, do you think I haven't had a really bad year?
Right. There's value there. So can I throw another thing at you?
Like, I think you're up against that a lot. Like I've told you before, I spin, never paid a couple of things to get a violin spin, right? Never paid me because they got bought or whatever. Remember that magazine Gasoline in Toronto? I did 3 cover stories for them, and that motherfucker never paid me. Or Karen, or my friend John Deckel, actually. Ask us all about that. What else? There was just so many. It was such a run of like doing magazine pieces, and it's like, it's cool. Now I have something substantial to show my daughter when I'm old and say, "Look, these are magazines," because that's what I read when I was growing up, like Rolling Stone and Spin, and none of them ever pay. So it's irritating. And also, the chase is irritating.
But you're Ben Rayner. There's no way you can demand 50% up front and 50% upon completion.
Yeah. I don't think it works.
I'm so naive. Hey, so can I throw one more thing at you before I ask you the next pointed question here on Toronto Mike? So,
yes.
Like you're a great writer. You love writing about, be it music or UFOs or horror. I got to be careful how I say that word. But like, what about a Substack where people who want to support you give you X dollars a month or whatever? Like, I'm thinking of Michael Barclay, okay? Michael Barclay does a great job on his Substack, and he makes money through his Substack. Like, what if you did that?
Yeah, no, I've been told by a number of people that you have to be at it all the time. And I feel like you have to come at it from a comfortable place.
But you could be at it once a week. Because you're a busy man, you're a father, you're walking dogs, you're walking the earth. Like you could just, you just say, I'm going to publish something, whatever. Just could be a stream of consciousness.
I feel like back in the day when music blogs were a thing, it's like a lot of these guys worked in IT. So they were just at their computers all day, or you're Alan Cross and you have the luxury of like doing your show, your syndicated show or whatever, but you're on your computer all day. And I think that's the way you can make something like that work, is if you're constantly giving people content. With the Substack stuff, it's just, I don't know, it takes time. I don't really have the luxury of time now. I have thought of using this time to finally get some other writing done. So I am supposedly talking to a literary agent in the next week or 2. So that's okay. That's something that
I'm glad to hear this.
Try to make happen.
Hey, are you friends? Yeah. Are you friends with Barclay?
Yeah, I know Michael. Only
because he writes the odd book here and there, very good books. And I think at some point I had a conversation with him about me writing a book. But really, who am I to write anything? Ben Rayner needs to write the book.
I've been told this I've been told that I should do a book for how long did I live in Toronto? 27 years? 20. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something you can do while you got these other. What do you put in the fire again? Stokes in the fire? What do you put? They say
irons in the fire.
Iron. Thank you. I'm writing that down.
Stoke the fire.
You stoke the fire.
Well, actually, that is putting an iron in the fire, though. That is putting an iron.
Because I was going to say, while you have so many stokes in the fire, and I'm like, no, that's not the expression. You got irons in the fire. Okay, so
but technically, I guess that's more of a metallurgist kind of expression.
That's like a Black
If
Creek
you're a
Pioneer
metal
Village
worker,
thing.
What do you call it? What do you call a guy who hammers on an anvil? I'm losing it. Oh my god, that's a lifetime of pop right there. Anyway, you know, a guy who works metal, a metal worker.
Metalworks. I think that's Gil Moore's studio.
Yeah.
Hey, Triumph
Very
are doing
upset.
something weird, man. Like Triumph, I think two of the three main guys, so Rick Emmett and Gil Moore, will be in this concert tour with like guests. Like, who's the guy from Bon Jovi? Mr. X. What's his name? I'm
Not the other guy.
Some anybody. But this
The
is
guy who quit, like John Bon Jovi's former.
Yeah.
Christ, why are our memories such shit today? I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, my point is
He
that
had a
they're.
thing with Cher. I know that. I think he briefly dated Cher.
Well, Cher. Okay. Well, who didn't, right? But did you ever date Cher?
Yeah, not yet.
She's going on tour in 2026, the same year she turns 80.
She's done like 5 farewell tours now. She once tweeted at me, actually. I was just making fun of this. Like, I wasn't dissing the show because, as you know, I have very gay taste and I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I think some of the fans mistook my
Right.
tone for being evil. And I got a tweet from Cher saying, I was just trying to show these people a good time. I'm
You know
so
what?
uptight or something to that effect. It was like a life moment.
Cher probably thought you were Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, that's right. It happened again. Did I tell you this happened again? I told
Yeah.
you about the car pulling to a stop in the intersection in Hamilton, where the guy, like the window comes down, the guy was like, holy shit, brother, you look just like Eddie Vedder. It just happened to me in Halifax, where the 2 attractive women actually were like, did anyone ever tell you look just like Eddie Vedder? And I was like, yes, it happened.
Ben, you texted me in real time. I think every time somebody says you look like Eddie Vedder, I get a text from you.
Yeah, because you're the one who rides it hard.
I
And
ride it
plays
hard
zero.
because I'm looking now. I just reorganized. So you haven't been in the basement in a while because you're in New Brunswick or wherever the heck you are. But
Yeah, I'm everywhere.
I just reorganized my TMDS basement studio and put up shelves with my lovely wife Monica, and I put vinyl and stuff, and I have the binaural vinyl staring right at me. So shout out to Eddie Vedder here.
I mean, like I said, I said this to you. I think the first time we actually met. If you people want to mistake me for a sensitive surfer poet, I'll take it.
Oh yeah,
I think I'm better looking than him. But
There's only one American I actually want to talk to on Toronto Mike these days, and his name is Eddie Vedder. So there you go here. But okay, I got more questions for you, my friend. So
ask away. I'm gonna crack.
Well,
my Diablo.
crack a beer now. We'll pretend it's a fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery. Delicious.
I love Great Lakes Brewery. I will give it if you can't get your hands on a crisp, delicious Great Lakes Lager or the sexy Octopus Wants to Fight IPA, and you're in Nova Scotia, I recommend the Diablo Mexican Lager by Good Robot. It's pretty tasty.
Okay, crack
The hint
that
of
sucker.
jalapeno.
Oh yeah.
Great Lakes, I'm still loyal. If I could get you out here, can you get Great Lakes outside Ontario?
You used to be able to, but not anymore. So I have brought this up with Troy Birch because when I started the Great Lakes sponsorship of Toronto Mike 10 years ago, there were a couple of places in Halifax, but now it's just Ontario. So
it sucks because I've said this to you many times. It's not a false thing. Great Lakes is my go-to brewery. I had Bellwoods at the end of my street, but you need a second job to drink there.
Right. Hey, one quick note there. I just want to, and it's kind of a plug, but it's true. I had a family gathering for Christmas, and we ate delicious Palma pasta at this gathering. Like we had this chicken parm and this penne with rosé sauce that my 9-year-old loves, and lasagna, and of course the garlic bread. And everybody raved. Like this is like forget. You guys are doing it wrong with this turkey dinner thing, man. Like, get Palma Pasta to basically cater your events, and you can thank me later. Absolutely delicious, and they do amazing job. So I just want to say much love to the good people at Palma Pasta.
It is good. I've ingested a few of their lasagnas after appearing on your show. I'll support Mike in this. We had ham for Christmas with my friend Dennis.
Well, that's very traditional, and there's a place for ham, of course. But this Christmas we went Italian, okay, and just call me Toronto Miguel. What is the Italian equivalent? Is it Miguel or is it Is it Miguel?
Miguel sounds more Spanish.
Okay, what's the Italian, Michael? I should know this, right? Michaela or Micola, or I gotta Google this one later.
I'm not wading into this and being called a bigot.
An anti-Italian, you can't.
Anti-Italian.
Although I feel like that's fair game. Like, to be honest, like I think we're
I already
allowed.
brought up The Godfather. That's the
Oh yeah. I think it's fair game. I don't know, but I love Italians and I love Italian food and I love everybody. You know that, Ben. Okay, so let me cover some ground here. So I got notes after your appearance in September from people who literally were offering you like a room in their home or a couch in their, like, did you take anyone up on these?
I went and met Glenn for the first time, who sent me, because he's in St. John. I'm pointing this way because St. John's that way.
Right.
And I was like, dude, do you want to go for a beer? I'm in New Brunswick. And I did indeed wind up crashing on the couch because we got quite drunk a lot. And I'm going to see them, I think, on him and his lovely wife, Ashley, on New Year's Eve in Fredericton. Someone I just met over the phone or email, like, we didn't really know each other. And I was like, do you want to go for a beer? I'm in St. John. And they wanted coming down here to St. George and hanging out for a day, the pub. I made 2 new friends thanks to that podcast. Actually. And actually, I had some people reach out and offer me like places to live and ridiculous financial help and stuff. It's like, I'm not on the street, thank you. But yeah, it's sweet. I mean, my opinion of, like, I treat everybody with kindness and expect kindness in return, which is why I have a very bad temper. Because when people are idiots, I don't like it. It's probably why I'm unemployed and live alone. But I think there is an inherent, this is me maturing. I've come to realize that I think there is an inherent goodness in people, and most people just want to do good things. You know what I mean? Most people at heart, I think you're calling, because my friend who I've been staying with in Halifax now is one of my oldest friends. He's just like, but you do this for me, and I'm like, I know, but it's still like, you know, I've been here on and off for months. Like, I don't want to be in the way. He's like, you're not. Like, it's okay. You do this, like, but it's just, it's neat when shit doesn't quite go your way. People are nice. I know that's a very trite way to put it, but I'm surprised at how nice people are.
Well, another of my favorites, we talked earlier at the top, I think, of our favorite Simpsons episodes, and one of my all-time favorites is the streetcar named Marge. And you got the song, You Can Always Rely on the Kindness of Strangers.
The kindness. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just want to make sure you know that of all the, and I did a lot of episodes in 2025. My goodness, this is going to be episode 1826, I think. I did a lot of episodes.
How many have you done this?
Well, our last episode was 1765, and that was only September, and I'm on 1826. So,
well, you do good work, Michael. You're good.
Well, you know, I won a Canadian
Nice
podcast award. I don't know if you caught wind of that in New Brunswick.
What?
Yeah.
In New Brunswick?
No, I mean, I didn't know if it made
I know. That's a dad joke.
I was going to say if it made the news over there, but anyways, I digress. I don't want to talk about me. This is about Ben. But I'm just letting you know there was more reaction on good and bad, but more reaction to your episode, which was just a phoner in September to catch up with you. There was more reaction to that, I think, than any other episode of Toronto Mic'd in 2025.
Well, I could, but at the same time, I could see, like, when I wrote obviously the piece about leaving Toronto and getting evicted, and it's very polarizing. People are like, well, too fucking bad. And, you know, or, yeah, I've been through that. And I think it's just like, went down a nice middle ground where a lot of people can relate to this situation. I ran into my friend, well, I won't say her name, a friend who played in a fairly well-known band in Toronto. She's just moved to Sackville. It's the same thing. Same thing happened. I have another friend who's moving to Sackville she's out Stouffville way, but same thing. Just can't afford to live. Like, even in Stouffville, you can't afford to live in Stouffville anymore. And it's not like either of them were living high on the hog. One was a musician and doing like homeless outreach and stuff. And washing dishes to get by. And it's just like at a certain point, it just became untenable. And I think that was, I miss Toronto. It was my home for 27 years. It just became this thing where I felt, and I've said this to other people, but when you're a certain age, all your friends have houses. I know I sacrificed a lot of that because I wanted to travel when I like music and, going to, it's just different life stuff. I never aspired to that shit. I still don't. Probably why I'm no longer with my partner, because she wanted a house and blah, 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 and it's just like, I don't care. I don't need that. I would sleep on a pile of rocks and twigs. It might happen, yeah. But I just found like the materialist side of Toronto was kind of crowding me and a lot of my friends out, where you feel like, and I don't care about that shit. I never aspired to having money. I've never had a great deal of money. I grew up, this isn't the original house because Mom tore it down and replaced it with a modular home, but I grew up here in this very spot with a single mom, and we lived below the poverty line. She was making 16 grand a year working for a newspaper and supporting two boys when my dad left, and eventually quit that job to go work for an MLA here, the late Greg Thompson, even though she wasn't conservative or anything. Greg was a good guy. He's like, Barb, you want a job? Paid her a living wage. She gave up her career in journalism for a few years to put her boys through high school. And I'm glad I got that gene. I'm glad I didn't get the, I'm going to go do my own thing gene. I got my mom's conscientious parent gene. And that's why I've done everything I've done. That's twice now. I quit the Star basically because I knew Polly needed a dad when everything was shut down and during COVID. And, when her mom said she wanted to move out here, it's like, I'll just do it for my kid. And I think, you've done it. You've got 4 kids. Mm-hmm. You do it for your kids. Everything I've done is basically motivated by my kids.
I get it. I get it 100%, man. I get it. I know it. I lived it. And one thing I can tell you, because I just had Christmas with all 4 of my kids, they grow up so fast. Like, you got little 9-year-old, well, she'll soon be 9 years old, Polly, and then
January 3rd, baby.
And then you're going to blink your eyes and she's going to be like, I'm going to the University of Toronto for university. And she's going to go move into Toronto. And I'll just say, you never know what the future holds. You may end up back in Toronto at some point as a healthy, 60-year-old, fit, healthy Ben at 60, back in Toronto. Like, who knows what's going to happen? You just got to keep on keeping on.
Yeah. No, I right now, like, I remember my friend Betsy Powell, who I used to work with at the Star.
Of course.
She interviewed, I can't remember if it was Roger Waters or David Gilmour.
Well, Waters is the Nazi.
Yeah, I have a good Waters story for you, which I'll tell you after this. I don't know he's a Nazi, but now that's going to get me canceled.
I said it, not you.
Yeah. Well, no, but saying he's not a Nazi is going to rile some people up. I don't know. I mean, definitely played with a lot of Nazi iconography. Besides the point, but I remember Betsy, I think it was him or Gilmore, when they did an interview, and he said, after they did Dark Side of the Moon or The Wall, I can't remember which one, he always felt like he was moving away from a point rather than moving towards a point. I've still never felt that way. Like, when I left the Star, it was the right time to leave the Star. I'd been there for 22 years. I had a really great run. I did some pretty good work, I think. But I never felt like I'm not that guy trading on past, well, I used to be someone. That's not the way I think. And right now, I actually feel like I'm moving towards something. I had like a bit of a fallow period. It was fun running a record shop, don't get me wrong. But I feel like you have periods where maybe you just need a break to recharge your creative energies. Yeah. And I feel like I'm moving towards something right now, and it's kind of cool to be in that position because it's exciting again. And I don't, like I said, when I was really in a rut in Toronto, and it sucks. I love Toronto, but I was worried about myself. I know friends were worried about me. I wasn't being healthy. I was depressed. and that can get worse and worse. And I could have these brief flashes of joy, on Saturday night, Sunday, Monday night, and then crash on Tuesday morning when I dropped Polly off at school. Right, and it was just like this awful waveform. Right now, I know I did the right thing in trying to stay close to my kid. I made a lot of sacrifices, and I think karma is a real energy. And I'll do it. I'll work in a fucking hardware store to be close to Polly. That's the thing. I like having her in my life. So nice. I've met cute single moms. That's like that's a big thing too. It's like I wasn't able to like date or anything in Toronto. It was like all my time was spent working or with like a 8-year-old. It's like that was my free time. So it's been interesting to dip a toe in the oh my God, there's a lot of cute single moms at my daughter's new school. I'll put it that way.
Well, are you seeing anyone right now, or are you just sort of enjoying the company of many of?
No, I'm not. Like honestly, I've been like a single dude for a couple of years. I have a brewing friendship, we'll say, with one of Polly's classmates' moms, which totally embarrasses and terrifies Polly and her class. That's what is your job as a dad if not to embarrass your children? So they're horrified that we are fond of each other, but they can suck it up because we're lonely old people.
They'll get over it. Trust me, I've been there too.
Yeah, exactly. They'll get over it. Yeah. It's just trying to find time to go. Like, I'll tell you the story. The Headstones were down, and he like their buds. I did publicity material for the new record and like a long form video. It's actually pretty fun. And Hugh and I have known each other well. We like each other, and just did a piece for the Star on them actually. She managed to get a night away from the kids. She's got 3 daughters. Gonna get the kids, send them to the ex mother-in-law's. Gonna go see I was like, do you want to go see the Headstones? It's that night. Yes, we're gonna have a grown-up date night. Finally, no kids. The ex mother-in-law was very late coming to pick the kids up. First it was going to be noon. It was going to be 2 or 3. See where this is going. Hugh was sick. Hugh Dillon, the lead singer of the Headstones, was sick. So they flipped the bill. So it's Headstones at 7, Finger 11 at 8:30, which I want nothing to fucking do with it. Although I did give it a try. I gave them 3 songs. I'm still right about that band. Tea Party later on.
Right.
Long gone. So I'm like, okay, I got to go. I'm sitting in the bar in Dartmouth waiting for her. And she's like, she's still here. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the show. Come meet me afterwards. Or like, I'll leave your name at the door if you want to stay for the Tea Party. Because everyone has a soft spot for a couple of Tea Party songs. The fact that Finger 11 was in the middle there is just an insult to humanity. I tried Finger 11.
They were in the basement, by the way. Just so you know, they're lovely people. They
are. I've met them.
Lead guitarist and the lead singer were here, and they were the nicest guys.
They're super nice guys. I've met them, and they know I've insulted them. But it's just not for me. I'll put it that way. It's not for me.
Not for you.
It's so not for me. I tried again. I tried many times back in the day at the 25th anniversary. I tried 3.5 songs. Fuck this. This is not for me. Just not for me. Everybody else, enjoy it. Right. I'm not judging you. Not for me. They are nice guys. So the Headstones finish. I'm texting. I'm like, hey, come. I'm going to give Finger 11 a chance. Nothing. I'm like, she's falling asleep. She's falling asleep because she has 3 kids and an older kid. I was just like, she's asleep. She never sleeps. And finally, I wait in the bar, and I was like, oh, that's that. And I'm on my way back to my friend's place when I get there. Oh, Jesus Christ, I fell asleep.
She fell asleep?
I lost my night with my kid last night. And it's like, that's what you're up against, Mike, as a single parent. You know that. Especially 2 single parents.
I knew.
I was like, my text was, I guarantee you're asleep right now. I didn't hear anything. It's like, I know you didn't ghost on me. Because this was your idea. And you got rid of the kids. And I know you hate yourself, so there's been a lot of self-loathing.
Hey, quick aside is that tour that you're describing, it came to this new venue by the Woodbine racetrack. I forget what they call it.
That casino place?
Yeah, right. That same tour was going there. I came this close to seeing that concert, which was going to be Finger 11, Headstones, and then the closer was Tea Party. I almost went, but I did not go.
The Headstones were still good, even though he was clearly. I mean, like the last tour when that record was the one before Flight Risk might have been their best record. Like I love that album. It was like the show at the Phoenix.
Right.
They were like a hardcore band for a bit of it. It was really good.
Can I ask you a question about music real quick here? So what do you think about these, like, I'm going to call Headstones, I'm going to call them a legacy band, okay? I'm looking at a bunch right now. I seem to be stuck in the 90s myself. So, like, when a legacy band, like a Sloan or a Headstones, puts out new material, and people like you, the people I trust who know their music, you and Barclay and everybody, you guys tell me that, hey, this might be their best material ever, but let's be honest for a minute that everybody just wants to hear unsound or cubically contained or whatever.
I mean, but the actual new Headstones, which has like Dallas Green from City of Color, Alexis on Fire on it, Emily Hanson Metric. I've said this. It's almost like it would have been the logical sequel to the '90s records, like Teeth and Tissue, Picture Health. What's the other one? The three.
I know the big ones, yeah. The CFNY jams.
This would have fit very nicely in that continuum. It's really good. It's among their best work. And I don't know that anyone pays much attention to it, but they're still making good stuff, and they don't have to. Like, he's a fucking movie star, like a TV star.
Absolutely.
The other guys have other stuff going on. They don't have to make records that good. They don't have to go out and play these shows and play them that well. So it was good. I was alone. He was sick. And it was because it was a truncated opening set instead of the middle one.
Right.
It was just like a greatest hits thing. I don't think they touched the new record, but the new record's really good.
Okay. Hey, would you?
All the chips. It's really good.
Would you ever be able to put a word in with Hugh Dillon to visit the TMDS basement studio at some point if he's in town?
I think honestly, he is a great dude. I think he'd be up to it if he could slot it in. Right. The man rigorously schedules every moment of his life.
He's a busy guy, but just put in a word that he almost came on, and then I think the PR person chose, like, I don't know, breakfast television over me or something, and I got like last minute. It's like,
I was actually hoping to see the guys while they were in Halifax because they're good dudes. But when someone's sick, I think they just got the hell out of there.
Well, famously, so I produced.
It was a disappointing night for everyone. I'll put it that way.
He's
hello, with cute redhead single mom.
Oh, that's amazing. We could have a dating podcast with Ben Rayner. We can cover all this.
Yeah. But no, a non-dating podcast with Ben Rayner.
I think 2026 is your year, but more on that in a moment. But I produced the Humble and Fred show, and the Headstones would play, for example, at the Horseshoe. They'd play a Humble and Fred Christmas party in like the early 90s or whatever. Early to mid 90s. And the story that they love to tell is that, and this is before he cleaned up and he's sober now, but like he wouldn't go on stage. It would be 7 a.m. or something, but he's not going on stage until somebody scores him some weed. Like, this is like a mandatory prerequisite for the early to mid 90s Hugh Dillon. So he's
I would think weed was the least of his concerns.
Well, I cleaned it up for the Lauren Honickman said I should just clean it up.
Hard to get me to do anything without a bit of weed. But I get it.
I get it. Hey, so here, because you've been amazed.
Honestly, Mike, I barely smoke weed anymore. Like, cigarettes are long gone.
Yeah, good.
I my gummies. I like my gummies, but it's interesting having clean life.
Well, I was going to ask you, so I will say this. Okay, we share everything. So after that episode we did in September, there were multiple notes from listeners who said you should delete it because I think he's high. And I listened to it. I listened to it again. So we're going to, before you say anything, I listened to it. I was there for the chat. It seemed fine. And then I listened back as if I were a concerned listener or something. And honestly, you sounded like Ben fucking Rayner. Like, I never for 1 second thought you were high. And I'm here to tell you.
I mean, I might have smoked a joint.
Okay, so you might have smoked a joint, which is, I feel like, do we even, that's, I think people thought.
I was also yelling into the phone on a beach. in the wind.
So you were of
that
sound
might-
mind and body when we talked on that day in September.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I had we had a beer.
You had a beer and you had some weed, and I think that just means you're a fucking punk band, living the life. Okay, so
But yeah, it's not like I'm waking up and doing boatloads of cocaine or meth.
right.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So you're,
I don't think I ever did that.
it sounds to me, and you're eating all right. Like you're not anorexic or anything here. You're eating your.
I'm a very good cook, actually.
Okay, so I feel good about Ben Rayner in 2026. So here's a quick hits on this on our way out here. One is, did you, Ben Rayner, have a Merry Christmas?
I had an all right Christmas. It was weird being away from my kid for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I'm now having a Merry Christmas. Look, I'm wearing my Grinch shirt, which you probably can't see.
Well,
I'm actually wearing layers of Grinch shirts. I've got an orange one underneath.
Well, I'm recording this video, so everybody listening to the podcast can find this video on the Toronto Mike YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was all right.
All right, but I know what that's like. You want to be with Polly, and you couldn't be with Polly, but I'm here to tell the world and that right now you're with Polly. I saw Polly, an hour ago, and she looks like a happy, almost 9-year-old who's with her daddy, who she loves very, very much. So
sorry.
No, I was going to ask, is Polly happy?
You can ask her yourself if you want. She's right outside the door. I think she is. Let me just yell. Polly, you happy?
What? Do you want me to bring you a yogurt?
I don't need a yogurt. Do you want to say goodbye to Mike?
Tough kidding questions for the 9-year-old.
Yeah. There you go. You want to
Hey, Polly, are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look happy to me.
That's my little angel right here.
Happy and healthy, and you've got a great daddy who loves you.
Yeah, no, we're pretty tight. This one and I, we're friends. Do you want to wish her a happy birthday there, Mike?
Yeah, so I'm just going to let Polly, I have a 9-year-old daughter, okay? So your daddy and me, we will both have 9-year-old daughters for a few months here. A very happy 9th birthday to Polly. Have a great birthday.
There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, what a sweetheart. Okay, so final question, Ben, on our way out here.
Yeah.
You've been amazing.
There you go. Thanks for coming in, sweetie. This is a real pro operation. At least I'm not yelling into a phone on a windswept beach.
No, this is much better than last time. I think that added to the people were really concerned because it sounded, the audio wasn't good, but I can say somebody did clean it up with AI and said you can use this. And I listened to the AI version and I said, I preferred the crappy audio we had on the cell phone because it felt more authentic to the moment. Like I didn't want to.
I thought I'd find a nice secluded spot, and it was just like massively windy on that one stretch of beach.
So
and
Ben,
I walked around. I told you, I walked in circles. It was like, what the hell is going on? It's eddying everywhere.
No notes. I wouldn't change a damn thing. But how do you feel about 2026? Are you positive about Ben Rayner in 2026?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive these days. Which is a fucking weird thing for me because I'm not generally or I haven't been. So I think that's progress. I was very negative for a while. For longer, I think, than I realized. And I don't know. I think I've self-therapized my way out of it. But yeah, I'm actually, like I said, I'm excited for a couple of these things I'm working on. Again, it'd be nice if they paid, but it's a long game, and it's nice to have something creative to do. And I didn't have time to do much creative when I was like kind of stuck in an 8-hour loop all day, and I could pitch some freelance and get that done. But actually just taking myself somewhere every day, because I'm not good in like the way I've always worked. I'm way better if you put me in like backstage at a Metallica show or in a pub. I can get shit done, and I get shit done fantastically well because I focus. I know it's my ADHD, but if I have a lot of background noise and hustle and bustle, I can tune in. So the idea of me being independently creative in like my own space doesn't really work because I'll just get up and make a curry Or maybe, I haven't had chai tea in a while. I think I'll go to the shop and get some chai. So right now, having a couple of things to work on and just dragging my ass somewhere different every day and sitting down and focusing in for a few hours is actually really fun. And it's nice to know I still like writing because I didn't for a long time. And I'm not going to talk about it because it hasn't run yet. I've had a couple of really unpleasant experiences writing lately. People are too tight-assed and gutless to run some of my stuff, and I'm too real, but it pissed me off, and it soured me on it again. So I'm looking forward to having some other outlets for my creativity. I'm also looking forward to having a few days with my kid around her 9th birthday right now.
I'm so happy that you get to do that, and it gets easier. I promise you that. And just know that so many people listening to this conversation right now know and love you. They love you. They care about you. Can we reconnect? Maybe in a few months, can we touch base again?
Man. You know what? First, next trip, because Flair to Toronto was super cheap. That's why I came. But when Polly was still there, I came back. That's why I came back for 3 raves in 8 days. Because old ravers got a rave. I will let you know, because we should kick out the jams next time I'm in Toronto. I feel like, and not talk about this shit, because I am tired of talking about it. Not with you. Right. I don't like it being like everything's all about me.
No, I would love to kick out the jams with you. Like, honestly, if you have a spare, 90 minutes in Toronto and you can make your way to South Etobicoke, we kick out the jams. We crack open a Great Lakes beer. I give you a lasagna. We do it right, brother.
Yeah. A lasagna fight, frozen lasagna fight. Yeah.
Shout out to Garfield.
Do you have a favorite album this year, by the way?
No, so on our way out, I was going to ask you, honest to God, I don't know what this says about me, but Dave Hodge comes over and he tells me his 100 favorite songs of 2025, and there are 100 different artists. And I wondered to myself, like, when did I stop listening to new music? Like, I'm embarrassed. My daughter, my 9-year-old, is playing the new Taylor Swift all the time. I heard it this morning. Like, it's
pretty good. It's better than the last one.
Well,
I like Taylor Swift. I thought Midnight's was amazing. But
no, I got no qualms with Taylor.
I like the pop though.
Yeah, like, she's great, and I hear a lot of it in this Ophelia song and all these. They all sound very pleasant to my ears, and it's very lovely. But can you tell me what new music I should be listening to? I love the new Wet Leg record, Moisturizer. It's bonkers. And everybody I play it to loves it too. It's like back to front. It's perfect record. I was worried they were going to be one of those English bands like Cult or Dodgy or Elastica, whereas like first album's amazing. A couple of years go by, the second record's a wreck. Right.
The new Wet Leg, I think, is better than the debut. It's so good, and it's like even visually too, because they've always been kind of like a 360-degree art project. The videos are always fun. Rayon, the lead singer, has embraced being a rock star, and they have matching outfit. Yeah, it's just good shit, and like anthemic, girl powered, queer powered pop. And that one is still taking over my entire like year. It's like nothing else really compares to it for me this year. I try to do this, like, I love that Fuckers record last year. I love the new Fuckers single with Tiga. But the anybody asked me, the Wet Leg, the Head Sounds record's really good too. And actually,
yeah,
I'll say, should look up my buddy Wolfgang Webb's record. Like, he's made 2 great albums that have gone completely unnoticed. The new one got quite a bit of international attention, called The Lost Boy. It's ridiculous. I'm just like, I can't believe I did the bio for his last 2 albums. Can't get any interest from like domestic media.
Right.
But he's like a dear friend of mine. He used to play in a band. He doesn't like me saying the name of the band, but I'll call it Super Halo. They were kind of like a Nine Inch Nails-y thing at the end of the 90s. One of the first friends I made when I moved to Toronto. And we're both old ravers. We know each other really well. And a couple of years ago, he made a record. And he asked me, and I can't remember the title of the first one. It's going to bother me now. Where are my notes? But the new one, The Lost Boy, he asked me to do the bio again. I'm just like, holy fucking shit, man! It's like Nick Cavey, Tom Waitsy, Love and Rocketsy, gothy. It's amazing, and nobody knows it. And he's in Toronto. You should hear that. Like, people should hear that record. That Wolfgang Webb, two B's. It's fantastic.
Well,
It's a really good record.
I'm glad you're sharing the love on that one. But one last question here, music related,
Yes.
before we say goodbye, is that everyone except for Dave Hodge, actually, everybody I listen to about new music is telling me I should be listening to Geese.
It's good. The friend I will be hanging out with in Fredericton for the next couple of days has been pushing it on me. I get it. I don't know if it's my cup of tea, but it's interesting, and it'll grow on you.
Okay.
But it seems to be the consensus one. But
Yeah, it seems a consensus one, but Dave Hodge did not put it on his top 100 for what it's worth. But it does seem to be the consensus number one if you're listening to like indie rock in 2025.
no, but that was always my, like, when I would do my top 10 or my top 20 at the Star, or even vote when I was on the Polaris jury, right? Mine were never the same as anybody else's because I like Carly Rae Jepsen and Kylie Minogue and that kind of shit. So there was always that weirdness. But then the bands that I love that band Dog Day from Halifax. They're buds of mine. But that stuff never seems to cross. Like, I was always very distrustful. You go on Pitchfork at the end of the year and you look at, there's a herd mentality amongst critics. And they tend to fall in line. And I'm not that guy. I think the Wet Leg one is fairly popular this year, though.
No, I hear a lot of good things about it.
Geese seems to be the consensus one. They seem to be enjoying like a early Radioheady kind of thing. I don't know. I got to give it more listens. I bought my kid one of those JBL clip speakers, like, which are pretty cool because a couple of my friends have them. So we, like, a couple of my old raver friends, we bomb around the island, listen to house music all summer.
Yeah.
When I was there. So I got her one of those. So I'm actually interested in her blasting her playlists at me because I've discovered I like Olivia Dean through her. Olivia Dean's great, you know. So my kid is now teaching me shit. I'm sure as your kids are teaching you.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Love this chat, man. I love how well you seem to be doing. And again, keep on keeping on. People love you, Ben. So thanks for this today.
I love you too, brother. You're a good man, and I love doing this show. Anytime, I will kick out the jams with you next time I'm in Toronto. There are a couple of rave type happenings I might try to make it up to in March.
Dude, I can't wait.
So we'll kick out the jam. Thanks for having me on, dude.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,826th show. Go to TorontoMike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. Consider becoming a Toronto Mike patron. Just go to patreon.com/TorontoMike. Much love to all who made this possible. For the last time, the second last time, I get to say thank you to Retro Festive. It was amazing spending a couple of months talking about the wonderful people at Retro Festive. Shout out to Ty the Christmas guy. Great Lakes Brewery, they'll be back for 2026. Palma Pasta, they're back for 2026. Nick Iones, he's back in 2026, and we'll have a new podcast I'll be telling you about. RecycleMyElectronics.ca, they're back for 2026. And Ridley Funeral Home, they're back for 2026. Listen to Brad Jones's excellent podcast, Life's Undertaking. See you all Wednesday, when my special guest is Matt Schichter. He's the director of the new CFNY, the Spirit of Radio documentary that's airing on TVO. Don't you dare miss it.